Saturday Night Live from Dallas, Texas is UFC 277 featuring a UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship rematch between current champion Julianna Peña and former champion Amanda Nunes. Let's break it down. Amanda Nunes is 34 years old. She's 5'8" with a 69-inch reach and a record of 21-5 with 13 knockouts and 4 submissions. From Pojuca, Brazil, she began her training in martial arts when her mother, a former boxer, enrolled her in capoeira classes at 5 years old and karate at 7. At 16, she took up boxing and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and despite being the only female in the gym, she quickly began dominating her sparring partners. She went on to win gold medals in the Pan American and World Jiu Jitsu Championships before moving to New Jersey to train at A&A Fight Club before eventually settling down in Florida at America Top Team. She made her MMA debut in March of 2008, losing via armbar, and then went on to win 7 of her next 9 before making her UFC debut in August of 2013 with a first-round knockout of Sheila Graff, followed up 3 months later with an elbow knockout of Germaine De Randamie before getting knocked out herself by Cat Zingano the following year. She bounced back in 2015 with a first-round knockout of Shayna Baszler, and followed that up with a rear naked choke of Sara McMann and a decision over Valentina Shevchenko before defeating Miesha Tate by first-round submission to become the UFC bantamweight champion. In December of 2016, she made her first title defense with a 48-second blowout of former superstar Ronda Rousey, and followed that up with a close, hotly contested split decision over longtime rival Valentina Shevchenko. After a 5th-round ground-and-pound knockout over Raquel Pennington, she moved up to featherweight in 2018, knocking out Cris Cyborg 51 seconds into the first round to become the first female in UFC history to hold championships in 2 separate divisions simultaneously. The following year, she returned to bantamweight, stopping UFC legend Holly Holm in the first round with a brutal head kick followed by ground-and-pound. She defended that belt again with a unanimous decision over Germaine De Randouille before moving back up to featherweight, defending her title twice with a decision over Felicia Spencer and a first-round triangle armbar submission over Megan Anderson. On December 11, 2021, after recovering from COVID-19, she returned to bantamweight to defend her title against Julianna Peña. However, after an impressive first round, she was steadily picked apart in the second before getting taken down and submitted via rear naked choke in one of the greatest upsets in UFC history. One of the most dominant champions in the history of the sport, Nunes has one of the most formidable stand-up games, expertly controlling the distance with calf kicks and exceptional footwork while landing her heavy strikes at a rate of 4.5 per minute, while also boasting an impressive 82% takedown defense. Julianna Peña is 32 years old. She's 5'7" with a 69-inch reach and a record of 12-4 with 3 knockouts and 5 submissions. From Spokane, Washington, Peña, the daughter of a local meteorologist, took up cardio kickboxing while in college as a means of losing weight, but quickly developed a passion for it before transitioning over to MMA. After a brief amateur career, she made her professional debut in May of 2009 with a first-round rear naked choke and wanted to win her first 4-0 by stoppage before suffering her first loss, a second-round TKO to Sara McMann, just 2 weeks after getting run over by a drunk driver. After dropping a decision to Deanna Bennett, she was selected to compete with the Ultimate Fighter Rousey versus Tate, where she avenged her loss to McMann and went on to win the finale with a first-round knockout of Jessica Raquel. Shortly after a bout with Jessica Andrade was announced, Peña suffered training injuries to her ACL, MCL, and meniscus, keeping her out of action until her return a year later when she earned her first Performance of the Night bonus with a first-round knockout of Melania Durieva. She followed that up with impressive victories over veterans Jessica I and Cat Zingano before headlining her first event against future pound-for-pound queen Valentina Shevchenko, putting up a good fight until she was admitted via armbar in the second round. 8 months later, she announced her pregnancy, and after a 2.5-year hiatus, she returned in July of 2019 with a unanimous decision over former flyweight champion Nico Montano. She lost her next fight by guillotine choke to Germaine De Randamie, but bounced back 3 months later in dominant fashion with a third-round rear naked choke of Sara McMann. She was expected to challenge bantamweight champion Amanda Nunes in August of 2021. However, the fight was postponed 4 months due to Nunes contracting COVID-19. On December 11, 2021, after surviving an early onslaught from the champ, Peña rallied back in round 2, breaking Nunes down gradually before stopping her via rear naked choke to pull off one of the biggest upsets in UFC history. A solid striker with an excellent jab to set up her shots, Peña is also one of the strongest grapplers in the division. Will Peña be able to use her jab and grappling to neutralize Nunes again and prove that the last fight wasn't a fluke? Or will the Lioness be able to pull out another explosive victory as she continues to cement her legacy as one of the greatest fighters of all time? Tune in Saturday night to UFC 277, Peña versus Nunes 2, and let's find out.